All right, so now finally we'll move on to really the meat and potatoes of the DIMLI application, which is the cataloging interface. Generally, a cataloger would jump into an order either from their home page by clicking on a specific order in their to-do list, or by coming to the View Orders feature and finding the order that they want using the search fields at left. Now in this case, we want to find, in order to simulate what a cataloger would typically go through, they would be working on an order that has already been digitized. So generally that would mean that these first either 3 or 4 stages of completion would be complete. And we have a few examples like that here. All of these orders would be good candidates. 86, 75, and 27 images. We'll click on this one with 27 for Barbus Securgus, and here's the image number span that this order represents. We can see some information about how long before this order is due using these color-coded buttons here. We can click on this row and jump into this order. Now, this isn't a very pretty looking order because the images themselves are just diagrams. We can click on any individual row, but before we do that, we should actually stay in the order for a moment. Here we are, and we see, like we did before, some information about the order up at the top, who it's for, when it's due, how many images are on it, which cataloger this order is currently assigned to. We have some navigation buttons at left that allow us to cycle through the different pages of this order, and these are automatically resized and renumbered based on how many pages are needed. Each order may have up to 200 images, so obviously if there are 200 images and 10 images per page, we're going to need 20 pages. Each of these individual image rows gives us a little bit of information about the image that we're going to work on, its page number and figure number as it was entered when the order was created. We also have the ability to delete an image record at any time here from the database completely, or flag it for export. And this is something that we might do if we were going back to make changes to existing image records that had been cataloged in the past, but we wanted to make a change to them and flag them so that they would be exported in the next curator export. So as we click on one of these image records, we jump into a brief view of the work and image records as they're related to each other here. So here at the right is the entire image record as it is currently. So the only information that we have right now about this image is the source from which it came. Now this book name and its ISBN number were entered when the order was created, but it hasn't been cataloged yet, so all this information is blank. We can click on the image and get a preview. We can see when the image record was created and last updated. We can use this link to go to the order which this image is part of, but incidentally we're already in that order. We can simply scroll down and see it. And we also have the option to begin editing this record by clicking on the link right there. Now, because this image record hasn't been cataloged yet, it is not associated with a work record. And for non-initiates, the VRA Core 4 cataloging standards call for the cataloging of image records to be related to separate work records. And what we establish here is a one-to-many relationship between works and images, where each work record can contain information that is true for many different images. So you can have many images that are different views or different representations of a single cultural work. And you only need to catalog that very general information about the work once, and then that information can be used for all the subsequent image views that we have come through the Visual Resource Center, and they can all be related to a single work record. So in this case, since it hasn't been cataloged yet, it's not associated with a work record. We can rectify that situation. We can search for an existing work record. We can search by title or agent, either one or both simultaneously. If we search for Rubens, click search, we get a series of work records from our database that have Rubens in the agent title. If we click on one of these, it will immediately associate this work with this image record, and as a cataloger we are saying, yes, this image is one specific image view of this broader work concept, and we want to associate those two records. But we don't have to do that if we know that this image here is a one-off. It's not represented by any of the work records in the database presently. We can simply click on Create a New Work. in which case we'll be confronted with a blank slate. And we can now catalog from scratch a brand new work record to correspond to this existing image record now. And that is what we'll look at in the next video.